Hey there, monkeys. Grab that cup of coffee, kick back, and relax. We'll get started with a SITREP in just a minute. Introducing the official Werx coffee in 3 bold flavors. Fog Navigator, the master of mornings, chocolate and apricot. Texas Pecan, Lone Star Luxury, pecan and cocoa. House Decaf, full flavor, no buzz, smoky dark chocolate. 3 bold new flavors now available at monkeywerxus.com/shop or scan the QR code on screen now. All right. Hey, welcome, folks. Mil-Spec Ops Mickey here. This is going to be your SITREP. It is 12/1/2023, and the year is flying by, but we got a lot to cover. We're going to talk about this Operation Trojan Horse because when I show you the data, I think you're going to be picking your jaw up off the ground because, you know, we talk about it in pockets, but collectively, we really never piece it all together. We're going to look at the Swift Air flights who have been moving these illegals throughout our country at breakneck speed, and it's going to be shocking. I'm just going to tell you that. Listen, we're in a time, if you really think about it, where the doctors are destroying the healthcare, the lawyers destroying justice, the universities destroying knowledge, the governments are destroying our country and our freedom, the press destroying the information, banks destroying the economy, and of course, pastors are just destroying churches. And so if that's not enough to make you sit up and pay attention, then what I'm about to discuss definitely will. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and peel that onion back. And if you would, by the way, YouTube is just, they putting baby in the corner again. I am getting throttled and shadow banned and everything else. My numbers, it's just insane what they're doing to me. They did it before. We found a way to kind of get around it, but it takes time. So if you're as sick of it as I am, please come over and join us on Patreon. It is an amazing community, and we have a lot more content over there than we do over on the tube. Just letting you know, we do live Q&As twice a week. I've got shows on the weekends that you'll never see unless you're over there with us on Patreon. And it is, again, an amazing, amazing community. So we'd love to have you. So, all right, let's take a look at the skies. This is where we are right now, 146 up. I've already stripped out the trainers. Tex 2s are 27, T-38s are 25, so a little over 50. If we just look at the H-60s alone, you can see very, very active in the Northeast. Everything else is kind of chilled out and calm. Now, we're going to get into, let's look at the watch list first, and then I'm going to show you some data that, like I said, when you look at the Swift flights, I don't know why I didn't do this before. It's like just one of those moments where you go, hey, wait a second. What about this? Pull it together just like the survey flights, and it is going to shock you. So let's look at watch list first. I'm going to go ahead and strip out the survey flights. There's like 24. I'm going to take out the C-17s because those two add a lot to what we're looking at in the sky. And so if I just strip them out, we can just get kind of a cleaner look. There's a Swift Air in there. There's not that many up at this very moment, but they have been up. We just don't catch them because of the timing of our show, etc. But yeah, you can see a lot of customs and border patrol. Scratch that, reverse it up in the air. A lot of Phoenix Airs up as well. Those guys are your agency boys moving people around. And then kind of get in a little closer. You can see, again, a little NOAA bird, several NOAAs that are up. They've been kind of light over the U.S. as of the last couple weeks. When we get over to Europe, I've just got one R135 that is up, along with the German intelligence balloons that are gathering data on the citizens over there. And then there is Forte 10 that is out over the Black Sea, and the Israeli bird known as Iron. That is a reconnaissance intelligence asset. So, okay, let's take a look at Homeland Security. And I bring this up because given the state that we are in and the fact that they are telling us that it's all hands on deck, we are imminent for some type of a terrorist attack inside the continental United States, and they've never seen chatter like this before in their life. Look at the over the last 3 days, the amount of just fluff that is out there. Right? New Orleans, spot we've been looking at, trying to figure out what is going on down there in New Orleans. But yeah, I mean, very little work is being done from what I can tell in the skies. Must be boots on the ground. That's the only thing I can think of. It's something doesn't feel right when you're being told that you have all of this level of increased threats, but yet you don't see the intelligence flights or the Customs and Border Patrol or Homeland Security, right? Out there gathering and rounding people up. Yeah, it just tells you they're just basically going through the motions, is what it appears. So, okay, look at the R135. Then we're going to get into some of the deets. This one was yesterday, and it was just off of the coastline of Israel and out over the Mediterranean. And then, of course, the normals that go up into, Northern Europe side of the house towards Estonia and Latvia and Lithuania and Finland, etc. Over the U.S., a little bit there looking at Vegas. It looks like that could be red flag related. And then you see this one just kind of goes out towards Buffalo, New York, and then comes back. Don't know what that one's about. That could have been a sniffer. I don't know. But that's your closer look there. So let me do this. We're going to hit back over here to the mini, and then we're going to get into the deets. And this is where I'm going to start digging and peeling that banana to show you why I think we should all be very concerned, much like the farmer that lets the foxes in with the hens, or, when the sheep herder that brings the wolves in and puts them in with the sheep. This is what our government is doing to us, and I'm going to show you. Here is the Swift Air this morning. Just notice everything right now is down at the southern border, okay? Everything there, one little bump into the center of, or Central America, so to speak. But notice it is all border towns lit up, okay? Now, notice these two are still lit over here, all right? That tells you they are headed that direction. But that's not where it ends. So check this out. This is going to blow your mind. This is Swift Air, all right? The last 30 days, 350 flights bringing illegals into the interior of our country. This is only 31 aircraft. That is strictly the Swift Airs that we track when we're looking at this stuff. Now, from above, it just looks like a hot mess. Notice just over the border into Canada, we're bringing them there too. But I'm going to bring it to the side. That's the beauty of Sky Glass. You can get down to the side and really kind of go underneath that umbrella, that canopy, and look at where they're bringing them. Look at this. That's Coral Gables, I think it is, down into Florida, south of Tampa. There's even something into the Bahamas, which really threw me off. But look at this. As I start to go in to the interior of the United States, look at every city that they have been bringing these immigrants into. All right. Yeah, they call them economic migrants because they no longer qualify for asylum, so they've recategorized them. Fighting age, most of them, single males, fighting age, military age males. Look at this, Chicago. You just go across the United States. every major city within the United States, we've been dropping them into. That's just the last 30 days. And we've been tracking this for years, folks. So let that kind of sink in. Then see the flurry down to Central America. And I've actually had somebody contact me and say, oh, no, they're flying them not down to Central America. They're bringing them up to our border. That wouldn't surprise me, right? But that's a data point for you. Again, look at the United States. Okay, now check this out. Look at the C-17 traffic, right? Out of Hawaii. And then we kind of drill down a little bit. Notice it's a lot of the same areas, right? They're near San Francisco, Southern Cal, Tacoma, Seattle, Tacoma, right? And when you kick it up to the side, you do see a very big, thick spaghetti chain, so to speak, coming out of the port there in Charleston. But again, look at going into the Caribbean, down into Central America, into South America. C-17 traffic, right? And then look at it, the spread, just like the Swift Air stuff, the spread across various locations within the United States, everywhere from Alabama, Mississippi, up into Ohio, into Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. You'll see the drops that shows where the aircraft have actually landed. And these here as well. Get up here, Syracuse, right? There's Pittsburgh. Yeah, see it? And you get over to the same spots. Now I bounced out. Hang on, let me bounce this back in. But yeah, that's where we are. Now let's look at, this is the last 3 days, by the way. All right, and then you see the heavy flow into Germany, which who's the ones in NATO and Germany? Sorry, not NATO, but who we hear the chancellors in Germany complaining about the illegals in their country, as well as the rest of the other areas like Sweden, et cetera, Norway, all saying that they need to stick together because they've got a migrant issue. And then there's one I see in and out of Tel Aviv. It's the only thing I've seen. The rest, look at it. It's into Egypt, and then really hot and heavy over into Qatar and the UAE. Okay. Coincidence? Probably not. But let me show you this, because this is where it gets really interesting. You may remember about a year and a half ago, I was showing you, I had a friend of mine, close friend, who has a security company, and they had a bunch of these heat vests because they're a security company, right? They had a bunch of these on order, and they got a notification saying that the U.S. government had come in and bought an untold amount, that everybody's orders were going to be on hold until they fulfilled the government order for these. Now, why, I might ask you, would the U.S. government be buying heat vests? This holds what they call a battle load, right? So it's 8 magazines. It can be anything. You see them just Velcro them in, but it slips down underneath. You can see how they're worn. And it came from the movie, I think it's called Heat. But they're made to be worn under just regular everyday clothes. You can put them on, and it'll carry anything, ARs, AKs, anything, large magazines, but it holds 8, okay? Now, why would the U.S. government be buying these, right? They've got body armor. They've got all the stuff that they need as a U.S. government. Heat vest, that means potentially you're not wearing body armor. You're basically just blending into public areas, right? But they bought a boatload of these about a year and a half ago, right? Didn't make any sense. 0 cents. All right. Now let's go over here and look at the numbers, all right? So check this out. 2021, 2022, 2023, up to October, these numbers are only current as of 11/6. So we're already almost 30 days behind on these numbers. But you can see 174,000 single adult encounters coming in, right? But look at these numbers. Over 2 million, almost 2 million, 1.3 million. Now, this is where I think you have to kind of put in game theory. All right, what happens? We go to war and we take all of our soldiers, our military, right, and we send them across the drink to fight a war. Well, then there's nobody really defending the homeland, or at least not in big numbers. So then you bring in 12 million illegals, fighting age males, right? That's your door kickers right there. They have no loyalty to us, to our country. And if you look at how many veterans we have in the United States, 3.4 million roughly, like it's 1 or 2%, so maybe even 6 million veterans. But how many of them are still, fighting age, or, are armed to the teeth? Maybe a good number, but not 12 million, right? Not 6 million. So if you were to take these folks, scatter them out across the country like this, right? You've covered every major city, the chaos that you could ensue. If you needed door kickers, what if you needed, cannon fodder? What if you just, you said, hey, we're not going to hit our recruitment numbers, so this is a path to citizenship. But instead of sending you abroad, we're going to keep you here domestically. Well, I will tell you, I have also seen the job requirements that the U.S. Army is looking to fill right now. They've already filled a bunch, but they're going out broad brush and really looking to fill these. And that's going to be bilingual teachers, instructors, to come into where they're doing basic training and to teach English to people that don't speak it, that are in the military, so they can follow instructions. So again, fighting age males. Look at this. This is since Biden has come into office. All right. And this is just starting in October. So that's already probably 250,000 single adults, most of them males, right? So there's that aspect. Now, check this out. Here's another data point for you. Foreign-born population hits 49.5 million under Biden, largest ever in American history. You see what they're doing? Hey, listen, please share this video with everybody you know, because I'm telling you, you better get your head in the game here quickly, because we're being overrun. This is an invasion. It is a Trojan horse, and it's all being done by our government. They're intentionally doing this to us, folks. And if you don't wake up, we're going to be sitting there with our just watching this whole thing unfold and not prepared. Okay. So check this out. Now we look at the illegal standpoint. I mentioned this the other day, as Daddy Warbucks here says, there are 12 million people in the U.S. illegally, mind you, who contribute so fundamentally to our country's well-being. Okay, so you've got 12 million known lawbreakers in our country that are contributing to our country. How do you think that is? Okay, so that's the first part of it. Now let's take this away. Now look at this. Federal judge reverses the temporary order blocking feds from cutting the Texas border barriers, right? So now it is back on again like Donkey Kong. Instead of slowing them down and putting in the razor wire, they're now telling them they are being instructed to go in and basically remove it so these people can get in, okay? But that's okay. We're flying them in anyway. So there's that aspect. Now check this out. There you go. Check this out. I mean, really check this out. Look at the picture. Let me hit pause on this for a second. Closely look at the picture. What do you see here? Military age males. All right. They're saying that China, basically more than 100,000 have come into our country just this year alone, 2023. All right. We go to the next slide here. Hit pause. Look at these stacked up. Look in the background. Look at all the guys on the ground. You see any women in there? Fighting age males, all coming into our country. What do you think they're up to? Right? And we're letting them in. That's the thing that you have to remember. We're letting them in. And not only are we letting them in, we're standing them up in our communities. We're flying them to these locations. I showed you the flights, all right? And we are basically giving them the money, a roof over their heads. We're putting them into programs, whatever it may be. Now, there was another data point that I heard. It was a video, and I want to say it was Michael Yon that shared this. And if you don't follow him or don't know who he is, he's the guy that's down there reporting on all this stuff coming up from the Darien Gap. But Michael Yon mentioned in his video, or showed the video, where there was a taxi driver that was told by one of the guys that got in the back that said that he has been basically hired by the United Nations, and they were told basically go to their location here in the United States and await further instruction, that they are soldiers. Okay. So let that sink in. Michael's a pretty sound dude, and I can tell you he wouldn't put something out there unless it was solid. So, but yeah, there's that, right? And you see down at the Darien Gap, we've got the United Nations and U.S. soldiers assisting people get across. We've got the U.S. government giving them an app that tells them how to get into the country, what to say, what not to say, so that they're not held up. And then we send them on their way. All right. Now, here's the other piece. Look at this. Yeah, I mean, it just speaks volume. 100,000 nationals into our country just in 2023, and the flashbang regime ignores the rising inflow of illegal migrants. Remember we showed you the little bio lab that was found inside of California, that they arrested a guy that was a Chinese national, and it had Ebola, COVID, it had a whole bunch of different stuff in there. Yeah. There you have it. We're bringing them in, setting them up. So, all right. That is only just a piece of it. I'm just scraping the surface, because at the end of the day, it's not just Chinese. It's not just Venezuelans. It's Hamas. You see the flights coming from the Middle East over here, right? Straight into our country. It's Hezbollah. We already know they're here. So yeah, we've been invaded. We're being invaded. We've been invaded. They are here, and you better get your head in the game, because this is going to get real. You don't show, it's one thing you see women and children and everybody coming across. They want a better life. They're here to provide for their families, whatever it may be. No, these people are showing up, fighting age males, right? And they're being led into the country. That would be a red flag for any country if all of a sudden all you see are males coming to your border that are fleeing another country, right? They're not coming in as doctors and scientists and contributing to the society. That's not their purpose. They're soldiers. They're coming in to fight us internally, the Trojan horse. And this guy on your screen, not me, by the way, this guy over here, he's letting them in, lock, stock, and barrel, right? Shameful. Okay, let's do this. Let's move on over to the next piece. As we look at Flashbang schedule today, he's got nothing on there, so we don't really care. All right, here is your NOTAM for today. As you will see, there is quite a bit going on. We've got this strange, it looks like a missile box almost. This is danger boxes. This, I think, is NOAA related. Same thing here. I did see this looks to be a little less up the border side. This is a bunch of weather and slop coming into the United States. This is stuff that just moving through the United States to the East Coast. Danger boxes here. Don't know what that is. We'll click on it just to see. Inactive, December 6th, TFR, space flight ops. So whatever that is. Okay. Looks like the usuals. Let's bounce over here to Europe. Look at the amount of boxes. Absolutely insane. Very, very busy, very active, especially down here where it comes to this side. I will say, watch Lebanon very closely, okay? Here's why. I'm going to show you a video. I caught this yesterday. And they are definitely eyes on Beirut and that general area. My guess is that Hezbollah is standing up big time in the general area. But this was Forte 11, so it's a Q4 drone that is going back and forth directly across from Lebanon, right, for hours. And then this R-135 Homer 42 came in right behind it, doing the exact same thing. I showed you that with the R-135. Lebanon, that's the main focus here. That means there is some activity going on to the north of Israel, in Lebanon, Beirut, maybe even Damascus over on this side, because that Q4 drone at 60,000 feet can see all the way into here. All right. They are looking very, very closely at some activity going on right in here. Okay. So just keep your ear to the ground. We'll see what happens. It's a data point for right now, but definitely something going on that they have concerns over in that general area. All right. Okay. Let's just go through the bases real fast. You'll see Dover looks to be the one that's active. I'm seeing more 747s leaving out of that location, headed to Germany. And I'm also seeing some stuff. There's a Italian Air Force, I think that is. No, Israeli Air Force, sorry, B-703. Looks to be leaving the U.S. back over to England. But I'm seeing an uptick in some flights going in and out of RZE Poland. Notice the camber flights here, 2 of them. One's a 777, one's this. So it looks like we are making one other, maybe beefing up some staff or some troops in that general area. There is word that Russia is about to make a big move, they believe, on Ukraine, and that may be why we're kind of putting them into play there in that general area. Probably delivering more artillery, etc. But there is that one. Now, this is going to be, actually, I said that. Let me back up. This is Ramstein, okay? C-130s, camber flights. So we're bringing troops in there. This is RZE Poland. My bad. And I do see some base commanders coming in and out. I've been watching 747s over the last couple of days starting to stack up in there. And I'm not seeing any. Let me just look in terms of arrivals. Yeah, I'm not seeing any on the board right now. But if I go up here to the arrival board for the last couple of days, you'll see, let's see, Thursday. Here we go. You've got them coming in from Anchorage here on Wednesday, the last time we had a SITREP. Go up a little further, and, well, let's see. That's strange. Yeah, they wiped the boards. That's really crazy. But here, look, you can see. Here's another one from Anchorage. Couple, that's troops, camber flight. NATO has been in and out. We've got another camber flight, 747 out of Dover, another one out of Dover. So, yeah, German Air Force has been in and out. So there has been an uptick. And then this one here, another one. Yeah, so it's been pretty active, definitely on the uptick. So there's definitely stuff going on over there we need to keep our eyes on. All right, and then here's the camber flights, and they are very active and busy. This one coming out of Fort Worth Alliance, headed across the drink, very big, and into Europe, and then down into Egypt. All right, and you can see them. Last time we checked in, there was an uptick in this as well. Remember, 747s could be both equipment and troops. The 777s and MD-11, that's going to be troops, okay? That one's going or coming out of Spain. Moving on over here to NCR, 747 coming out of Hong Kong. And these guys serve mini masters, so I don't really know what that could be. Given the fact that it's headed over China, that's more than likely not carrying any troops or any type of equipment. So it's headed westbound out of Hong Kong. So that's carrying something other than military-related equipment. So, all right. The Brits, very, very quiet. And they have been. Last couple flights, just been very limited. I mean, you see the cambers are on the uptick. The Brits, not so much. And then lastly, it's gone. Western Global, we had one that was coming out of Southeast Asia into Anchorage, and that one is no longer up. So, All right. Well, listen, that's going to do it for SITREP. Please, please, if you would, share this video out because the tube is going to definitely squash it. And we need to get that message out. We need to get this word out. People need to be aware as you kind of bundle this whole thing together, big picture, what is really going on. And it's not good for us, the United States citizens, we the people. All right. So as always, stay frosty. Keep that powder dry. We'll talk soon. God bless. Monkey out. Thanks for watching, folks. You can check out the latest gear and products by selecting the QR code on your screen now or go to monkeywerxus.com.